Hi, I'm River. I'd saved for 2 years to afford this luxury beachfront villa in Bali, a much-needed escape from my hectic job as a corporate attorney. The gentle ocean breeze caressed my face as I sipped my morning coffee on the private deck, watching the sunrise paint the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks. "Another perfect day, Miss River?" asked Miguel, the villa's dedicated concierge, arranging a fresh fruit platter on the outdoor table. "Absolutely perfect. I still can't believe I have this place to myself for 2 whole weeks," I replied, stretching contentedly. Miguel smiled, his weathered face crinkling around the eyes. "You deserve it. Many guests? They come here with big parties, very noisy. Nice to see someone actually relaxing, enjoying the quiet." "That was the whole plan. Just me, these views, and absolutely no distractions," I said, reaching for a piece of mango. "Will you be dining at the restaurant tonight? Chef Dario mentioned a special seafood menu." Miguel straightened the cushions on the lounge chair with practiced precision. "I wouldn't miss it. His grilled octopus last night was incredible." "I tell him you said so. He will be, how do you Americans say? Over the moon." Miguel chuckled, his accent emphasizing every syllable distinctly. I spent the day exploring nearby shops and hiking a coastal trail. When I returned to the resort around sunset, something seemed off. Lights blazed from my villa, and unfamiliar voices drifted through the open windows. Standing frozen in the garden path, I spotted a woman I'd never seen before lounging on my deck, drinking from what looked suspiciously like the bottle of champagne I'd been saving. "Excuse me," I called, approaching cautiously. "I think you might be in the wrong villa." The woman looked up, startled. She was around my age, early 30s, with expensively highlighted hair and designer sunglasses. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice sharp and nasal. "I'm River Mitchell. This is my villa. I've been staying here for the past 5 days." A man appeared in the doorway, tall with a perpetual smirk that immediately irritated me. "There must be some mistake. We checked in this morning. Villa 12, right?" "Yes, Villa 12, which I booked for 2 weeks. I just stepped out for the day." The woman exchanged glances with the man. "Well, they gave us the keys. All our stuff is already unpacked." "That's impossible," I said, my lawyer instincts kicking in. "My belongings are—" "Oh, we had them move some bags to storage," the man interrupted, waving dismissively. "The staff said the previous guest had checked out early." "Previous guest?" "I am the current guest, and I certainly didn't check out." Just then, Miguel hurried up the path, his usual calm demeanor replaced with visible distress. "Miss River! There has been a terrible misunderstanding," he exclaimed, wringing his hands. "Miss Carlyle here said she was your sister, that you had invited her to join you, and—" I turned slowly to face the woman, who now had the decency to look uncomfortable. "My sister?" I repeated incredulously. "I'm an only child." "It's what they told us at reception," the woman insisted, standing up abruptly. "They said the villa was reserved under Mitchell, and when we arrived—" "Wait," I interrupted, my blood beginning to boil. "Your last name is Mitchell too?" "No, it's Carlyle. I'm Vanessa Carlyle. This is my husband, Derek." Derek raised his champagne glass in a mocking toast. "Looks like someone at reception screwed up, sweetheart. Not our problem." Miguel looked mortified. "Miss River, please come with me to speak with the manager immediately. This is unacceptable." As I turned to follow Miguel, Vanessa called out, "So, what happens now? We're already settled in." I paused, looking back at them sprawled across my deck, drinking my champagne. "That," I said coldly, "is an excellent question." "This is absolutely unacceptable, Mr. Patel," I said firmly, standing in the resort manager's office. "How could your staff possibly give strangers access to my villa based on nothing but their word?" Mr. Patel, the resort's general manager, looked genuinely distressed, his hands steepled under his chin. "Miss Mitchell, I cannot apologize enough. It appears our new receptionist, Lily, made a grievous error in judgment." "Error?" I repeated, pacing the elegant office. "Those people claimed to be my family. Doesn't your staff verify these things?" "They should, absolutely." Mr. Patel pressed a button on his desk phone. "Lily, please join us immediately." A moment later, A young woman with nervous eyes and a name badge reading Lily entered, clutching a tablet to her chest. "Lily, this is Miss Mitchell," Mr. Patel said, his voice stern but controlled. "Please explain what happened with Villa 12 today." Lily's voice trembled slightly. "The Carlyles came to reception saying they were joining their sister who was already staying in Villa 12. They knew the name on the reservation was Mitchell and said there was a mix-up with their flights, so they arrived later than planned." "And you didn't think to call me to confirm?" I asked incredulously. "They said it would be a surprise," Lily replied, her eyes downcast. "And Mrs. Carlyle was very insistent. When I hesitated, she asked to speak to management and threatened to write a negative review. So you just handed over a key to my $1 $200 per night private villa to complete strangers because they were rude to you." I couldn't keep the edge from my voice. "I'm so sorry," Lily whispered, looking genuinely remorseful. Mr. Patel sighed heavily. "Lily, please wait outside. I need to speak with Miss Mitchell privately." After Lily left, Mr. Patel leaned forward. "Miss Mitchell, this is completely our fault. We will immediately prepare our finest available accommodation for you and comp your entire stay, of course." "That's not the point," I replied, crossing my arms. "Those people are in my villa, with my personal belongings, drinking my champagne, and they lied to get in there. I understand your frustration, but—" The door opened suddenly, and a tall woman with a security uniform entered. "Sorry to interrupt, sir, but you asked me to pull the security footage?" Mr. Patel nodded. "Yes, Miss Mitchell. This is our head of security, Diana Torres." Diana nodded briskly. "I've reviewed the check-in footage. The Carlyles definitely claim to be your family members. And there's more. They specifically asked about your schedule, when you typically left the villa and how long you usually stayed out." "They were targeting me specifically?" I asked, alarmed. "Seems that way," Diana confirmed, her expression grim. "They've been hanging around the property for 2 days. We have footage of them watching your villa, noting your comings and goings." "That's disturbing." I felt a chill despite the warm evening. "It gets worse," Diana continued. "I ran a standard background check. They're not actually married, and their real names are Vanessa Lewis and Derek Carlyle. They've pulled similar scams at high-end resorts in Thailand and Maldives." Mr. Patel looked horrified. "Scams? What kind of scams?" "They identify a solo traveler in an expensive accommodation, claim to be family, gain access, then run up massive charges before disappearing," Diana explained. "They've never been caught because most resorts prefer to avoid the publicity." "Well, they're not getting away with it this time," I said firmly, my lawyer mind already formulating a plan. "Mr. Patel, do you want negative publicity about scammers targeting your guests, or would you prefer to help me catch them in the act?" Mr. Patel's expression shifted from concern to determination. "What do you have in mind, Miss Mitchell?" "First, I want to talk to someone else who encountered them," I said. "Diana mentioned other resorts?" Diana nodded. "I can contact my counterpart at the Sands in Phuket. They had an incident last year that matches this MO. "Perfect. And Mr. Patel, I need your staff to play along with something." Diana's phone rang an hour later as we finalized our plan. She listened intently before turning to us. "That was my contact in Phuket. He's putting through a call from one of their guests who dealt with our friends last year." She put the phone on speaker. "Miss Mitchell? I'm Amara Wong. I understand you've met Vanessa and Derek." "Unfortunately, yes," I replied. "They've taken over my villa." Amara's bitter laugh crackled through the speaker. "They did the same to me in Thailand. Claimed to be my cousins, moved into my beachfront suite, ran up $15,000 in charges, and vanished before I even realized what happened." "How did they know which villa to target? How did they know my name?" "They watch for solo travelers in premium accommodations. They probably overheard staff addressing you by name. They're good at what they do." "Did you press charges?" I asked. I tried, but by the time I discovered the full extent of the fraud, they were long gone. The resort initially tried to hold me responsible for the charges. "That won't happen here," Mr. Patel interjected firmly. "Good," Amara replied, "because I'm still fighting with my credit card company a year later." After ending the call, I turned to Mr. Patel and Diana. I think it's time for a little confrontation, don't you? I approached my villa with Diana and Mr. Patel flanking me, our plan firmly in place. Through the windows, I could see Vanessa and Derek lounging in the living room, a room service cart loaded with expensive dishes beside them. Ready? Diana asked quietly. Absolutely, I replied, my heart pounding with righteous anger. I knocked firmly on my own door. After a moment, Derek opened it, champagne glass in hand, his smirk faltering slightly at the sight of resort management. Can we help you? He asked, attempting to sound casual. Actually, yes, I said, pushing past him into the villa. I think we need to have a conversation about who you really are. Vanessa stood up quickly. Look, we already explained the mix-up. There was no mix-up, I interrupted. You deliberately lied to get access to my villa. You claim to be my sister, which is interesting since I'm an only child. Derek's expression hardened. It was an honest mistake. The receptionist misunderstood. We have security footage of your check-in, Diana interjected, her tone professional but cold. You specifically claimed to be Miss Mitchell's family. That's fraud, Mr. Carlyle. Or should I say, Mr. Lewis? The color drained from Vanessa's face. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? I crossed my arms. Because we just got off the phone with Amara Wong from the Sands in Phuket. She remembers you both quite vividly. Derek's demeanor instantly changed, his voice dropping to a threatening whisper. Look, this is all a big misunderstanding. We'll just grab our things and go. After charging over $2,000 to my room in less than 6 hours? I asked, gesturing to the room service cart and shopping bags from the resort boutique piled in the corner. I don't think so. We thought the room was comped as part of your package, Vanessa protested, her nasal voice rising in pitch. We didn't know charges were being added. Mr. Patel stepped forward. Miss Lewis, you specifically asked our staff to charge everything to the room. We have that on record as well. This is ridiculous, Derek snapped, pacing now. You have no proof of anything except a misunderstanding at check-in. Actually, Diana said calmly, I've been in touch with authorities in Thailand and the Maldives. There are open fraud investigations at both locations with descriptions matching you two perfectly. Vanessa's composure cracked. Okay, fine. We made a mistake. We're so sorry, truly. We just wanted a nice vacation we couldn't afford and… Save it, I cut her off coldly. You targeted me specifically. You watched my movements for days. You stole my champagne, wore my robe, I added, noticing my missing bathrobe draped over a chair, and charged thousands to my account. We'll pay it back, Derek offered desperately. Just let us go and we'll make it right. Like you did for Amara? I asked pointedly. She's still fighting with her credit card company a year later. That was different, Derek insisted, his voice turning threatening again. You know what? Forget this. You can't prove anything. It's your word against ours, and we're leaving now. He lunged toward the bedroom where their bags were, but Diana smoothly stepped in his path. Actually, sir, you're not going anywhere except to speak with the police. They're waiting in the lobby. Derek's face contorted with rage. You called the cops? Over a misunderstanding? You'll regret this. I know people who can make your life very difficult. Are you threatening Miss Mitchell? Mr. Patel asked quietly, already signaling for additional security through the villa's phone. No, he's not, Vanessa interjected frantically. Please, we're really sorry. It was just supposed to be a free vacation. We didn't mean any harm. I looked at her tear-streaked face, searching for any sign of genuine remorse, but saw only fear of consequences. Apologies don't erase fraud, I said finally, and they certainly don't cover the cost of my champagne. The local police were surprisingly efficient. Within an hour, Vanessa and Derek were escorted from the resort property in handcuffs, their scam finally catching up to them. I sat in the resort's elegant bar with Diana, sipping a much-needed glass of wine as she explained the aftermath. They're being charged with fraud, identity misrepresentation, and theft, Diana said, checking her phone for updates. And it seems your case has opened floodgates. 3 other resorts have already contacted authorities with similar incidents. So they've been doing this for a while, I mused, swirling my wine thoughtfully. Years, apparently. They target solo travelers in luxury accommodations, always claiming to be family members. Diana shook her head in disgust. Most victims either don't realize what happened until too late, or resorts handle it quietly to avoid bad publicity. Miguel approached our table, looking relieved to see me relaxed. Miss River, everything is okay now? Getting there, Miguel, I replied with a smile. How's Lily doing? Very upset. She feels terrible about her mistake. Tell her I don't blame her, I said honestly. These scammers were professionals. They knew exactly what to say and how to manipulate the situation. Mr. Patel joined us, carrying a folder. Miss Mitchell, I have some paperwork for you. He placed it on the table. As we discussed, we've moved all charges incurred by the Carlyles, or rather, Miss Lewis and Mr. Carlyle, to a separate account that will be handled by our legal department as evidence. Perfect, I replied, signing where indicated. And your new accommodations are ready whenever you are, he added. We've upgraded you to the presidential villa with a private pool. Actually, I said, a plan forming, I have a better idea. The next morning, I checked out of the resort entirely, transferring to a charming boutique hotel down the beach at Mr. Patel's recommendation. Before leaving, I signed the final piece of paperwork, my agreement to press charges and testify if needed. You're sure about checking out? Diana asked as we walked to my waiting taxi. The presidential villa is spectacular. I'm sure, I replied confidently. This way, the resort can leave all charges from my original villa, including future charges from the minibar, room service, and amenities, on the account opened in Vanessa and Derek's real names. Diana grinned appreciatively, legally establishing they were the actual occupants of the villa at that point. Exactly. They wanted my luxury villa? Now they're legally responsible for paying for it. I couldn't help feeling satisfied at the elegance of this solution. Brilliant, Diana nodded approvingly. And with the fraud charges, they won't be able to leave the country until this is resolved. Which means they'll be here when the bill comes due, I added, sliding into the taxi. A week later, relaxing at my new hotel, I received an email from Mr. Patel with an update. The total charges from my villa, now legally established as occupied by Vanessa and Derek, had exceeded $22,000, including damages they'd caused to antique furniture during a heated argument after their arrest. I forwarded the email to my new friend Amara with the subject line, Justice served. Her reply came within minutes. Karma at its finest. Still, doesn't it bother you that they tried to apologize? Some people deserve second chances. I thought about this as I watched the sunset from my new balcony, remembering Vanessa's tear-streaked face pleading for forgiveness. Then I recalled Amara still fighting with her credit card company and the other victims who had come forward. No, I typed back firmly. Some people apologize only when caught, not because they're sorry. Real remorse means accepting consequences, not trying to escape them. As I sent the email, I noticed a news alert pop up on my phone. A small headline read, International Luxury Resort Scammers Facing Charges in Multiple Countries. I smiled to myself, raising my glass of fresh-bought champagne in a silent toast. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about ensuring justice is served, properly itemized, and billed to the correct party. Ever had uninvited guests try to take advantage of your hospitality? I wondered aloud to the setting sun. I'd love to hear your revenge stories in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of sweet, satisfying justice.